Well, obviously very disappointing, not able to do enough things to win this football game. Ineffective offensively in terms of too many negative plays and the inability to finish off drives. That in itself is what's apparently part of our problem. And then the explosives on defense. So giving up explosives on defense and negative plays on offense, when you're playing in this league, in the SEC, where it's a razor thin margin for victory and defeat, if you don't have a clean performance in that sense, you're going to struggle. And we're in that phase, unfortunately. We're struggling right now in terms of execution, consistency. I thought we found a way to run the ball much more effectively today. But again, it's you have to finish off drives. I don't know what the time of possession was, but it was ridiculous, right?
42-18.
And I think first downs maybe almost 2-1 in terms of first downs, but that doesn't win you games. You got to score points, and our inability to score touchdowns and score points continues to crop up. And as coaches, we have to take responsibility. Players have to own their end of it, and we are in the situation that we're in because we're largely not effective enough in those two areas: negative plays on offense and not finishing off drives, and then defensively giving up the explosive plays. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And our team's got to make a decision, how they move forward. And we've talked about it, and I'm pretty confident they know what needs to happen in terms of their mindset. And again, we keep working on the deficiencies in which I've highlighted. So with that, we'll open up the questions.
Wilson.
Yeah. It seemed like today you were holding your play sheet more regularly throughout the game than you maybe normally do. Were you more involved in the offense in this game than you have been in the past?
Well, I think when things don't go well, the head coach has got to be involved. And that's not to say that I don't have full faith and trust in my staff. I do. But the buck stops with me. When we lose a game, I have to be able to look at the reasons why. And quite frankly, I feel as though in my background and how I was developed as a coach, I feel like it's getting involved. And so, yes, I've been more involved in everything that we're doing.
The amount of hits that Garrett took tonight, how concerning is that?
I look, some of it, obviously we're concerned to the point where we want to keep our quarterback clean. But we have to look at it in its entirety. Did the ball come out when it needed to? Did we protect the way we needed to? So anytime the quarterback gets knocked down, everyone's going to have to look at, what did we do and what can we do better?
You ran 92 plays, you found a running game, you possessed the ball. Have you ever been in a game like this where you dominated so many numbers except touchdowns?
No, this was unique, but we know the reasons. It's the inability. We can't keep taking points off the board. We had a silly mistake on a touchdown. That we're better than that. And drives have to be converted. You can't just continue to move the ball up and down the field and not convert it to points. They don't give you a pat on the back because you had the ball longer or they had first downs. And that is, in a large degree, making sure that everybody is doing their job. And that's why I have to be more involved in what's going on. It's not, I have to be able to figure out how we can help our players get through this. This is a rough spot for them. But we got to help them, and as coaches, that's what I have to do.
Cobb.
Randy, can you point to anything why you're not able to finish? You had a number of third down conversions. You really don't feel like that was...
Yeah, I think if you look at each drive, some of them were, we had some negative plays leading up to actual third down. As I mentioned, we had a touchdown taken off the board, which had to turn into a field goal. So it's a myriad of different things, but at the end of the day, a lot of that is you have to have players that make plays down in that area of the field, and that means everybody. From the quarterback to the left tackle to the wide receiver, and we haven't made enough plays down in that area.
And you talked last week, Brian, about trying to get them back up and remind them what they have to play for.
Yeah.
How do you reinforce that this weekend?
Well, this is really a simple exercise of, do you want to fight or not? Do you want to fight and take responsibility as coaches and players that we're not playing well and we're struggling right now? So it's life. It's a myriad of things, but it's a reflection of what life's about. There's a rough spot here that we have to fight through, and we got to do it together. So if you're not a thumb pointer, if you're not somebody that's saying, I'm going to work and continue to work to be better, then we don't have a place for you in the last couple of weeks. But if you want to fight and you want to keep working to get better, then we're going to be alongside of you. But at the end of the day, it's about overcoming adversity and fighting through these last two games that are at home that we desperately want to win.
Bryce?
Kind of playing off of that, you mentioned obviously learning some things about these guys. Does this really give you an opportunity to learn really what the mindset and the psyche of this team is going into the next two games and how you can build upon that in the offseason?
Well, it's going to point out those that are not fighters. So we're going to put guys on the field that want to fight, and they want to do everything they do to correct where we are right now. And that is struggling with consistent execution. And I've pointed out a number of times, negative plays, inability to finish off drives in the end zone, and then the explosive plays on defense. They're pretty consistent now. I think we've seen them enough to know what clearly we have to be better at as coaches and players.
Brad?
To correct that you held Swinson and Ryan out of the first quarter.
Yeah, that was my decision.
A coach's decision.
Coach's decision.
I'm here to elaborate that.
And I don't care to elaborate.
Wilson?
Brian, it's really, I guess, that sort of demarcation point for the offensive has been since halftime in Texas A&M.
Yes,
game.
it has been.
What? Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into it, but it just, I guess, what do you point to as sort of, even though like you found the running game in here, like why did nothing has quite clicked? I guess in this.
Yeah, look, if I had the magic bullet for that, we would have already pulled it, right, and used it. But look, everything that we do, we're challenging. Everything that we look at, we're challenging. And that's what you have to do when you're struggling like this. And you find ways to make things simpler, maybe. Less offense is more. That's why we got into more of a running game mindset, and we'll continue to do that because we have to be able to eliminate the negative plays and convert when we get opportunities in these short fields. And like I said, the prolific offenses, players make plays in short fields. You just make plays. We haven't made enough plays down there, quite frankly. And so we have to look at it as coaches. We're getting the guys to the places where they need to be to make those plays. And then, again, eliminating some of the negative plays that have led up to stalling some of those drives.
We have time for two more, Jacques.
All the talk about the running quarterbacks you've gone up against, but it seemed like they kept him in the pocket all night. Is that what they?
Yeah, I don't think that was an issue. I don't know that we went into the game thinking that would be a particular issue with DJ. We think he's a thrower of the football. He's capable of running, certainly. Look, I mean, we could go over every play in the game. But again, I think that they made some plays. They played well, and we did not do enough to eliminate some of the mistakes that have been haunting us the last couple of weeks.
Corey, last one.
Brian, just kind of a follow-up from an earlier question. You saying you'd be more involved. What does that mean exactly? Kind of what does that look
Well,
like?
I mean, listen, anybody that has a business organization and you're not, getting a profit at the, you put yourself on the street, right? Everybody is working, and putting in the time, and the head coach has got to be part of that as well. So, whether it's a business or it's football, coaching, you can't sit and say, well, it's it's the coordinators. I mean, the head coach is ultimately responsible for the success of his football team, and we're not successful these last 3 weeks. And so you got to get involved. And obviously, I wasn't good enough tonight, but we're going to go back to work, and we're going to look at the things that we need to get better at. And we're going to keep swinging, and we're going to have 22 guys out there that are going to fight for LSU and play hard these last 2 weeks at home.
Hey, Coach.
Thanks, Brian.